Wrong form, kid!
The barbell halted mid-rep. Yuki Tanaka straightened slowly, his gray tee still, his expression giving away nothing.
Is this your first time holding a barbell? My grandmother had better depth, and she's been dead for 5 years.
By the water fountain. Megumi Aoi clutched her blue bottle, her pastel ponytail quivering. She'd been coming here for months and knew this theater all too well.
He's going to destroy him in front of everyone, and there's nothing anyone will do.
There's a mandatory intro video for people who can't tell a squat from a curtsy. Open the app on your phone right now.
The entire gym had become a stage. Dumbbells paused mid-air. Sweat glistened on frozen brows. The only movement was the blinking cursor on a treadmill console.
Understood. I'll watch it now.
Good. Let's see if you can learn something.
Yuki's thumb swiped across the screen. The app bloomed open, but what it would show was something no one, not even Masaki, was prepared to see. The app interface glowed. A button labeled Intro Video pulsed softly at the center. Yuki's thumb hovered.
Go on, tap it! Let's see your technique after you've learned from the pros!
Around the floor, regulars exchanged quick glances. They had seen Masaki's ritual before. No one ever fought back.
He just stands there, like the mockery doesn't even touch him.
A soft tap on his arm. Megumi had picked up the water bottle that had rolled away during the commotion. She held it out.
You dropped this. Stay hydrated.
Thank you. I will.
Seriously? Getting comfort from a random girl won't fix your form?
Yuki ignored the jab. His thumb finally touched the screen, the button rippling under the pressure. The video began to load. But before it could play, the screen flickered and something unexpected surfaced from the gym's database. The smooth interface glitched. Yuki's own photograph filled the screen, his name beneath, and a title he never expected to see here: Founder and Chief Methodologist.
My profile. It's linked to the gym's database.
With a swift turn of his wrist, he angled the screen away and locked it. The intro video could wait.
What's the rush? Don't tell me the video scared you off already.
On the stretching mat, a regular member's eyes widened. He had glimpsed the screen for a second too long. The regular's hand froze mid-stretch. He had seen that face before on the gym's introductory materials labeled Founder and Chief Methodologist.
Someone noticed. I have to be more discreet.
His face changed for a moment. He's hiding something.
Fine, skip it if you want. Just don't come crying to me when you blow out your back.
Yuki pocketed the phone quietly, but the glitch had already planted a seed. The gym's silence held a new undercurrent. Near the calf raise machine, the regular who had glimpsed the screen leaned toward another member. His whisper cut through the quiet hum of treadmills. The words, barely louder than a breath, passed between them. That new guy. His phone showed Founder. The woman's eyes widened. She glanced toward the squat rack where Yuki stood, then back at her friend. The ripple began.
Proper form isn't a suggestion. It's the whole point of this program. You trust this method because it works.
Yuki slid plates onto the bar with deliberate, unhurried movements. Each metallic click echoed through the space like a quiet counterpoint.
I designed this system to be idiot-proof. Apparently, I underestimated the idiots.
Across the room, two regulars paused their workout and pulled out phones. The gym's app loaded on each screen, confirming the image and the title. One phone displayed the welcome screen, Yuki's photograph, the caption beneath reading Founder and Chief Methodologist. The other screen mirrored it exactly.
And my own competition record speaks for itself. I've trained champions.
Yuki took his stance under the bar, the weight settling across his shoulders. The gym's quiet divide widened between those who stared and those who still listened. 6 months prior, in a boardroom overlooking the Tokyo skyline, Yuki Tanaka stood before the executives who would license his life's work.
The Hyperion Protocol is not just another training program. It's a biomechanical system designed to reduce injury probability by 62% while improving performance metrics.
And the cost per member is reasonable? This level of customization seems expensive.
It scales automatically. The app personalizes for each user, which reduces trainer error and liability. It practically runs itself.
That night, Yuki finished coding the user interface in his apartment, the gym's logo already embedded. The system was ready. 2 months later, Yuki stood in front of a different crowd. 30 trainers, all required to pass his certification to use the program.
Tanaka-sensei, how do we correct a trainee who thinks they know better than the system?
You refer them to the data. The system tracks everything. If they're deviating, the app flags it. No trainer should ever rely on intimidation.
At the end of the 3-day course, every trainer lined up to bow. Masaki Sato, future head trainer, bowed lower than most. But 6 months is a long time. Names and faces blurred. And on the gym floor, the consequences of that forgetfulness were beginning to curl like smoke under a locked door. Yuki racked the barbell with a soft metallic click. His set was flawless, but few had watched it. He moved toward the water station.
Your depth was perfect. I don't know why he said those things.
He's a character. I've met worse. But thank you for noticing.
I've been using the Hyperion app for 2 years. For rehab after an accident, it's the only thing that helped me walk again.
That's really good to hear. I'm glad the program worked for you.
Hey, new guy, are you done with the water cooler therapy? Some of us are still waiting for the rack.
Sorry. All yours. I got what I needed.
He's nothing like what Mizaki described this system. It was made by someone who truly understands.
For a moment, the gym's harshness faded around them. A quiet connection formed, invisible to Masaki's loud world. But Masaki's voice still echoed, his shadow stretching across the floor. The storm was gathering, and the eye was closing. Masaki's boots echoed as he strode toward the water fountain, ignoring the space Megumi had claimed beside Yuki.
Still need a woman to wipe your chin? Maybe the intro video can teach you independence.
His knuckles whitened around the bottle. He said nothing, but the silence was heavier than any curse.
He's been nothing but polite. You're the one making a scene.
Masaki ignored her and spotted the phone in Yuki's hand. The screen glowed. The app was open, but the image blurred from his angle.
You didn't watch the video, I knew it. Let me see that screen right now.
The video can wait. I'm not handing over my personal device.
Hand it over, or I'll have you removed for violating gym policy.
Yuki stepped back, fast. Masaki's swipe cut through air. The phone pressed against Yuki's chest, its screen facing inward. Around them, the gym held its breath. Megumi's hand flew to her mouth. The fuse had been lit, and no one knew where the explosion would land. The sharp click of heels cut through the tension. Kanamori, the gym manager, strode toward the cluster with a tablet in hand and ice in her posture.
Tanaka-sensei, I didn't expect to see you on the floor today. Is there a problem?
Sensei! Manager Mori, this new guy was refusing to watch the mandatory intro video.
Kana's gaze flicked from Masaki's reddening face to Yuki's composed one, a silent calculus flashing in her eyes.
Masaki, Yuki Tanaka is not a new guy. He is the valued consultant who designed the Hyperion method from the ground up.
Consultant? The certification course, that voice. The memory twitched but wouldn't surface.
Masaki's jaw tightened as fragments of the course tried to connect, but he shoved them aside, unwilling to believe.
I trust everything is to your satisfaction, Tanaka-sensei.
It is now. Thank you, Manager Mori.
Megumi's hand fell from her mouth, hope flickering behind her eyes. Masaki stood rooted, his bravado draining into confusion, the quiet shift in power casting a long shadow.
Consultant or not, he refused to watch the mandatory video. That's a policy violation, plain and simple.
The policy was written by him, Masaki. He doesn't need to watch his own work.
His own work? That phrase itched like a memory. A bow, a name, but the blur wouldn't clear.
Megumi's hand slowly fell from her mouth, her fingers grazing the blue water bottle. A fragile hope took root.
Then explain why he was squatting like a first-timer. The program I teach corrects that kind of mistake.
His squat is textbook. You might be the one who needs to re-watch the training videos.
I'll continue my workout now. Excuse me.
She's treating me like a junior trainer in front of everyone. Because of him!
A consultant who designed everything. Then this program saved me because of him, not just the machine.
The name on the phone stayed unspoken, but the gym's air had changed. Masaki's shadow shrank. The truth scratched at the door he refused to open. Yuki finished his final set on the leg press and wiped down the machine, his movements unhurried as if the gym's drama had been a minor distraction. He walked toward the locker room, the phone still in his pocket, a quiet hum beneath his calm surface. Masaki's heavy footsteps echoed behind him, and before the locker room door clicked shut, a hand slammed against the frame.
You think you can just walk away? Tell me who you really are?
I told you. It's all in the app. But you'll need my face to open it.
Masaki snatched at the pocket, and Yuki let the phone slide into his grip. The screen glowed with a lock screen demanding facial recognition. A single photo, Yuki's own, showed beneath the time.
What is this? A joke! Open it!
Even if you had my face, the founder's profile isn't for gym bullies, it's for people who heal.
Masaki's fingers whitened around the device. The lock screen stared back, immune to his rage, and the locker room grew colder. Yuki emerged from the locker room. The gym had returned to its rhythm, but a stretching area near the windows lay quiet and untouched. He lowered himself onto a mat and stared at the city skyline, the phone heavy in his pocket, Masaki's rage still echoing in the silence. A blue water bottle appeared at the edge of his vision. Megumi stood there, hesitating, her pastel ponytail swaying as she shifted her weight.
Mind if I sit? I wanted to thank you for earlier. And maybe explain.
Of course.
2 years ago, I was in a car crash. It crushed 2 vertebrae. The doctor said I'd be in a wheelchair for years, maybe forever. Then a friend showed me the Hyperion app. The biomechanics program was the only thing that spoke to my body. I did every exercise through tears. Slowly, I stood. Then I walked. Every step I take now, I owe to the founder, whoever they are.
She's thanking me without knowing. If I tell her now, it becomes about me. But if I stay silent, am I lying?
Yuki's lips pressed together. The silence stretched between them, heavy with something unsaid, as the sun sank into the glass towers. That night, Yuki sat in his apartment, the laptop screen the only light. Megumi's words still pressed against his chest. He loaded the Hyperion diagnostic dashboard, a tool he'd built but rarely opened. Trainer metrics flooded the screen.
If my system works, why are people getting injured? I'll find the anomaly in the data.
His cursor clicked into Masaki Sato's file, injury flags stacked like a red tide, each one documenting improper form ignored. The aggregate chart showed a 40% higher injury rate among Masaki's clients, dwarfing every other trainer.
He's not just arrogant, he's dangerous. I built this to heal, and he's turned it into a weapon.
Yuki's finger paused above the File Internal Review button. An audit would follow, his name attached as the source.
If I send this, there's no undoing it. He'll know it came from someone with founder-level access.
A deep breath. Then a single click. The report vanished into the chain's encrypted server, a quiet detonation. The screen read, "Submission confirmed." Yuki closed the laptop. Outside, city lights flickered, unaware the ground had shifted. The next morning, Hyperion Fitness opened to a cold current. Employees avoided eye contact. Members whispered behind stationary bikes. Behind the counter, Kanamori stared at her tablet, lips tight. The audit notification had arrived. Masaki walked the floor with forced swagger. A regular he greeted simply passed by, buried in his phone.
What's with everyone today? I'm still the head trainer. Form check in 5.
A few glanced up, then returned to their sets. The clatter of weights resumed, indifferent to him. Yuki entered through the side door, headphones around his neck. He headed to the cable machines, ignoring the tension.
You! This is your doing! You filed some complaint, didn't you?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm just here to train.
Don't play dumb. The manager's been staring at reports. No one listens to me.
The gym held its breath again, but now the weight was heavier. The storm had a name, and it was circling closer. Yuki finished his cable workout and headed for the locker room. The gym's hum had thinned, only a few members remained. As he turned the corner, A hand clamped onto his shoulder. Masaki's breath was heavy, eyes bloodshot.
You're going to unlock that phone right now.
Before Yuki could respond, Masaki seized his wrist and jabbed Yuki's thumb onto the screen scanner. The screen bloomed to life. Yuki Tanaka's photograph filled the display beneath bold letters, founder and chief methodologist.
Founder? That course, Tanaka-sensei? I bowed. I bowed to him.
The phone trembled in Masaki's grip, his face drained of color, the confidence finally stripped away. 6 months ago he had stood at attention, bowing deeply before the same man who now watched him crumble.
Now you know. It doesn't change what you did.
Masaki's hand dropped to his side, the phone clattering on the tile. The silence that followed was heavier than all his screaming. Masaki stumbled out of the locker room, the phone raised like a confession. His voice cracked across the silent gym.
He's the founder! The one who designed the program? Look at his phone!
The clatter of weights ceased. Every eye turned to the glowing phone, then to Yuki at the locker room door.
It's true. Yuki Tanaka is the founder and chief methodologist of Hyperion.
Masaki lowered the phone, searching for approval. He found only cold stares and the hum of fluorescent lights. By the water fountain, Megumi's hand flew to her mouth. The founder, the one who saved her, was standing right there. Yuki walked onto the floor, his footsteps soft. The crowd parted, a quiet tide around him. Kana's confirmation hung in the air. The gym's hierarchy inverted in a single breath.
But he was the one who filed the report! He's trying to destroy me!
But no one was listening. The name Masaki had mocked was now the name engraved on every training protocol in the building.
Due to the injury report and audit findings, Masaki Sato is reassigned to equipment maintenance, effective immediately.
Equipment maintenance? You can't do this! I'm the head trainer!
Kana didn't blink. 2 security guards appeared behind Masaki, their footsteps silenced by the thick rubber flooring. They flanked him without a word. Masaki's arms fell limp at his sides, the defiance leaking out.
You'll regret this. He's not a god, he's just a man.
Yuki watched from the cable machine, his hands resting on his knees. No satisfaction, no pity, only stillness. A low murmur rippled through the gym. Not cheers, but quiet nods, a long-awaited acknowledgement of something broken being mended. The glass doors slid open. Masaki passed through them, his silhouette swallowed by the street's glare.
The chain takes safety seriously. Any trainer who violates the protocol will face the same.
The gym exhaled, machines hummed back to life, and somewhere near the water fountain, a single tear traced Megumi's cheek. Megumi left the water fountain, her feet carrying her across the floor toward Yuki, who was still on the mat by the windows.
You're the one. You're the founder. The program that saved my life, it came from you.
Her voice broke, but her eyes never left his, holding a gratitude that needed no more words.
I've been pain-free for 6 months. I can run again. The doctors said I never would, because of your method.
She's thanking me for something I created in a lab. This is what it feels like to actually matter.
Megumi bowed deeply, her pastel ponytail slipping over her shoulder, a gesture of pure gratitude that held for a long moment.
Thank you, Tanaka-san. I don't know how to repay you, but thank you for my life.
Yuki stood, and for the first time, his calm cracked. He reached out but stopped short of touching her.
I just wanted to help people move without pain. You proved it works. You did the work, Megumi.
She straightened, tears still tracing her cheeks, and a small, trembling smile broke through. They stood on the gym floor, bound by something deeper than iron. Yuki lowered himself back onto the mat, the words he'd never spoken pressing against his ribs.
I was a skinny kid who got bullied. I studied sports science because I was desperate to be stronger. When I created the biomechanics program, I was really designing a way to protect people from the kind of shame I felt.
Megumi's eyes softened. He hadn't just built a program, he'd built armor.
Then you didn't just save me, you saved yourself too. That's beautiful. Will you train with me every morning? I want to keep getting stronger. With you?
She's offering a partnership, not a session, and I want that. All right. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. I'll be here. Don't be late.
Megumi's smile widened, the last tear drying on her cheek as she nodded. The gym filled with the sound of weights again, but in that corner, a new routine was born, one that would last long after the machines fell silent. The next morning, the gym was empty except for the slant of gold through the east windows. Yuki stood near the stretching mats, a gentle warmth in his chest he hadn't felt in years. The glass door swung open. Megumi entered, her pastel ponytail bouncing, a smile already forming.
6 o'clock? I'm not late.
Yuki handed her a resistance band. She looped it around her feet, her back straightening into the exact position he'd once coded into an algorithm.
Slow exhale on the pull. You're recruiting the right muscles.
The exercise flowed like a dance they'd rehearsed 1,000 times, a lifetime of study meeting 2 years of survival.
This is what healing feels like. Not alone.
Around them, a few early members paused, watching the lesson. For the first time, the gym felt less like a competition and more like a classroom. The weights would clatter again, but something had shifted. The founder and his first student had turned the gym into the place it was always meant to be. They stood by the tall windows, the dawn fully risen. The city stretched below them, quiet and golden.
Every morning felt like a punishment before. Now I can't wait to wake up.
Same. I think I finally built something that works for me, too.
His smile was genuine this time, reaching his eyes. She had seen the real Yuki now, and he didn't look away.
He's not just the founder. He's the one who showed up.
They gathered their towels and bottles. The gym would fill soon, but this moment was theirs. Yuki held the door open. Megumi passed through, the morning light wrapping around her like a promise. They walked out together, side by side, into the city's waking noise. Behind them, the gym stood silent and empty, its machines waiting. But the gym's true heart had finally started beating. The days that followed wrote their own quiet rhythm. Every morning at 6, 2 shadows met on the polished gym floor. Yuki adjusted the cable machine while Megumi stretched, her movements now fluid and unguarded.
I almost forgot what the city looked like at this hour. It's like we own the world before it wakes up.
Maybe we do. For an hour, at least.
They worked in comfortable silence, the only sounds the steady hiss of the cable and the soft thud of controlled footfalls. Yuki glanced at her reflection in the mirrored wall. The fear she once carried had been replaced by certainty.
Every day, a little stronger. Every day, a little closer to who I was before.
The gym's front door beeped. A regular member entered, nodded at them like old friends, and headed to the treadmills without a word. The old Masaki days were already fading into uncomfortable memory, replaced by something quieter. Yuki handed Megumi her blue bottle. Their fingers brushed, and neither pulled away too fast. Weeks passed, and the mornings became their sanctuary. The gym's early hour now belonged to them alone.
I think my spine finally trusts me again. It doesn't fight the exercises anymore.
It should. You've done the work. The results are yours.
She held his gaze a beat longer than necessary, then looked away with a small laugh, a faint blush.
I never imagined waking up excited for a barbell. But here I am, counting down the hours until dawn.
They finished their session, towels draped over shoulders, and the gym's emptiness wrapped around them like a blanket. Yuki pushed the glass door open. Megumi stepped through, and he held it for her, a gesture that said it all. Side by side, they vanished into the city's waking noise, 2 silhouettes melting into the morning crowd. Inside the gym, only the hum of the ventilation remained. The squat rack stood silent, bathed in the golden light. But the story of that rack had changed. It was no longer a stage for humiliation. It had become a quiet starting line,